Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is more bad business. This is a Vector gameplay from my journey to unlocking all the guns and progressing high enough to test out all the cool arsenal that this game has to offer. Now, this is a TDM on Brazil 2. I really love that I started playing Bad Business during the Halloween update, because I got used to the levels looking all miserable and foggy and kind of grim. And now that they've reverted it and put it back to what it should look like, everything looks so much more colourful and better, and it's just made things like Tides and Courtyard so much more fun to play, because I really didn't like Courtyard. It was just foggy, I couldn't keep on target, I was getting really frustrated with it, and the moment they flipped that switch, I know that's what it's looked like for everybody for years, so to you guys the Halloween stuff was probably great, but to me, you know, I was really angry at the fog and really angry at a lot of the stuff they'd done to mix it up, which was really nice and everything, but for a player like myself, you might notice that I don't have the arms on, I don't have the ragdolls on, I don't have the textures on. I turn everything off so I can see my enemies. You know, I'm here to kill, I'm here to slay. I am the person who wants to murder and murder at mass. So I'm not looking for immersion, I'm not looking for crazy things going on, but I also appreciate that visuals are how games are judged, and you get a lot of people playing your game if it looks the part. Whereas to me, mechanics are king, and this game has just mechanical finesse that a lot of games are lacking, and it's sublime on an input area. And even with the limitations of, you know, Roblox and the way you play this game, I'm currently plagued by an issue because I have two monitors where there are times when my mouse leaves the monitor and I don't know why, and I don't really know how I can resolve it, and it stops me from being able to control my gun during gunfights at times, and I'll lose a gunfight because my gun stops responding. And I'm sure there's some kind of life hack there that you can do to make sure that your game is proper full screen, but because it boots it in like a browser / an application that doesn't seem as foolproof as like a normal game would, I don't know how to keep it the way it should be. And it's led to a lot of frustration, I'm not going to lie, but at the same time I pay it gladly because the game is really fun. And it's difficult to say that these days with multiplayer, because multiplayer is in such a sorry state, especially first-person shooter multiplayer. Unless you like Battle Royale, you're really starving for a decent shooter, and especially if you're a player like myself that values very specific things and is not into the ones that have already been established. So I will happily put up with spawning into a server and not being able to throw a grenade, all my key bindings being wrong, you know, I can't even slide, things like that. Or spawning into servers where my connection's really high. Look at this, by the way. I've never seen this before in this game. Moving into this area and seeing like 7 dudes like camping the arch, that is such an odd playstyle. And it's not an effective one either, because you're just going to get somebody who's going to come in here and just dissect everyone. And I'm using a gun that fires over 1,000 RPMs, which is incredibly fast. But it comes at a cost, doesn't it? It only has 24 rounds in its chamber, which that seems to be a way I think that the team have been balancing some of the fast-firing guns, because if you look at the Glock, wow, that was something. I wonder if he had a different desync there in the smoke than I did. I wonder if the smoke is server side. Oh, whoa, that was unlucky, but we got him back. That was so good. I love to see that. The grenades, though. Something needs to be done. I think we can all agree. Oh, cheeky guy in the corner. Always good to see. But coming across people using smoke and flashbangs. I appreciate the diversity, and I appreciate that everybody wants to play the game in a different way. But people that throw smoke and flashbangs instead of shooting at you, some of those people are just, oh, they irritate me the most. Because it's just like, you've got a gun. You do realise that, right? In the time it's took you to fuck about with some fancy grenade that's going to do nothing but be obnoxious, you could have shot me. And it reminds me, you know when you get caught with your pants down throwing a grenade and you die? Don't you feel the worst? You feel the absolute worst, because if you'd not had your stupid grenade on, you might be able to fight back, right? I always think about stuff like that, because it's one of the times I die the most, when I'm trying to get rid of my empty pockets. You know, get all those grenades out, make sure I don't die with them. I don't know what my team is doing right now. Have you seen that guy just like spinning around with his pistol? Classic Roblox. He's on my team, hiding behind a box. It's interesting, isn't it? I've been playing first-person shooters for a long time, and whenever I play multiplayer, I always get put with the biggest galaxy brain teammates, and I don't know why that is, because this game does not have team balancing, I don't think. And if it does, that'd be an interesting conversation. A new challenger has emerged, did you see that? We've got nearly a 2 prestige running a Galil, he's going to be a problem. But because he's got such a unique outfit on, I can hunt him and hopefully put him down. But like it doesn't matter what game I play, it doesn't matter if it's got, you know, performance-based matchmaking, skill-based matchmaking, team-based balancing, it doesn't matter. I always seem to find the greatest players on my team, I truly do. You know, the kind of person that you wonder if they were able to figure out how to plug the machine in to begin with? Like, that's my team usually. And every so often on Bad Business, you get on the team where there's a lot of really alert players, and then the game is not even fun because you don't even have to do anything. Getting shot in the back right there, not so good. It's an interesting spot. But it does make you wonder, doesn't it? It doesn't matter where you go. You always tell yourself, maybe this game's going to have better teammates. But they never are, you know? It's odd. It's really odd. And I think that Roblox, you can excuse it a bit more, can't you? Because this is very communal for people. This is very, like, friend-circly. I've noticed a ton of people talking in the chat more than they shoot. There was a kid the other day that was straight up doing, like, a sermon on how we shouldn't get angry at people or rage because, you know, people try really hard in video games now, and he was essentially doing an Oprah in the game. And then I looked at him on the team, and he was like 3 and 17. And I just always think, I don't know if you're the same, like, if that guy spent as much time aiming and shooting, his gun skill would be better than his ability to wax philosophically in the chat. And he must have been on a good connection, because I'm telling you right now, guys, when you try and type on this game and you have high ping, it's impossible. It is so impossible. It makes you look like you've got your phone's most aggressive autocorrect, and you don't know anything about the language you speak or write. Like, it's unbearable. The amount of times I'll type a message out and it'll just get completely garbled, and I'll completely give up on it because I just can't. And it's perhaps for the best, because I went into this game without the intention of talking in the chat at all, because I appreciated it was going to be, you know, some young people and some, you know, kids just trying to have a good time as I come along and eat them all and eat their hearts. And then it turns out it's the people in the chat, most of them are just salty tryhards. So it's not even as... I thought it was going to be a bit more pure, and then of course, like any toilet, you find the turds, don't you? So it went from, I'm not going to say anything in the stream chat at all, or in the game chat, because I don't want to, you know, annoy people who are trying to have a good time and aren't here trying to win. And then all it is people shaming their teams, people saying that you're garbage, people accusing you of cheating, people complaining about the G36, all these wonderful guns. It's so funny. Have you noticed how the people that bitch about the G36 are always the first to pull the M4 out? I find that funny. But this is a good lobby, this one. It's a mixture of some alert people. You know, my team is kind of clueless, but we're keeping map control, which is nice. And their team has got a good player, but he's got no map control, and he's going to suffer because of it. You know, no map control. My team is running amok. He's having to work way harder than he needs to. You know, it's kind of the story of my life. But I really don't mind, because that's where the fun clips come from. You know, it's... This gun, though, the Vector, I didn't really like it when I first started using it, but it definitely grew on me, especially when I got the monolithic suppressor. The 24 bullets is brutal. Absolutely brutal. But I think when they release the attachments, and you can put that up to 50 or 60 or whatever it'll be then, I think that this is going to be a dangerous gun. I really do. It's going to be interesting to see how they balance it as well, because I want them to make everything strong. I don't want them to make things weak and unusable. You know, when you nerf something and then no one uses it anymore, I think you've made the mistake, the classic mistake. But if you can bring everything else up to a certain level where everything is worth using, I think it could be really, really fun. So it'll be interesting to see how they work and what they do. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.